With the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State just months away, there seems to be apprehension that the same old toxic problem of personality politics, rather than the type anchored on issues, will play out one more time. The field, as it were, is again clustered by aspirants with varying messages, most of them heavily spiced with cash and carry politics, and alliance building with traditional rulers and other members of the elite in place of an honest effort at connecting with the grassroots. But there are few who believe that time has come to ditch all forms of divisive and elitist politics in favor of return to politics without bitterness in Anambra State. Joining us now to have a conversation is Chief Obiora Okonkwo, a businessman, politician, and governorship aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party in Anambra State. Beyond the focus on the election as a possible barometer for the depth and direction of Southeast politics ahead of the 2023 elections, what are the issues in contention, and to what extent can external factors play a role in determining the outcome? What happened to the PDP-APGA strategic alliance and the Peter Obi angle going into the contest? Welcome to the program. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Good morning, Chief Obiora. Well, the Anambra gubernatorial election is not until November 6th. The primaries will be June, July. But already the tempo in that state is quite on the high side. We have, as at the last count, up to about 60 aspirants. Now, you want to be governor too. You're one of those 60 plus. What are your chances? Why are you optimistic that you can make it out of these 60 plus aspirants?
Well, thank you, Doc. It's always the case in Anambra that times like this, you see loads and loads of people aspiring. It shows that we have a whole lot of qualified people. Unfortunately, at the end of it, only one person should be chosen, and this is one game. There is no medal for the second person. So for me coming into the race, I have no doubt that if you ask me to mark my own question papers that I've set for my exams, surely I should score myself 100%. But beyond rhetorics of politics, I think I am coming into the race with something different even in the past, and something different from amongst the players who are contesting for this election. Anambra State is a very unique state. It's a state like no other state in the nation. It's a state you've seen a whole lot of individual successful people in their private businesses who have, for the comfort and for other reasons, not shown much interest in politics. And since 1999, a very important aspect of human life, which is political leadership, governance, have been left in the hands of those who, for one reason or the other, have really not seen what it is to make things better for people, because these are not people who have gone through different stages of life. In a state where you have a whole lot of successful businessmen, somebody like me, coming in from that angle too, in this state also where you have a whole lot of intellectuals, professors, learned people scattered all over the world, I can fit into that category as an academician. And again, if you look at it also from the other aspect of experience, it is a proven fact, evident before anybody who wants to investigate that God, in his infinite mercy and favors, has made it possible for me to prove myself in different areas of endeavor that I am. So I think coming into government with this background, it is already showing a whole lot of difference. Because this is a state that needs a lot of job creation. You have to create wealth. You have to support the individuals and citizens of the state who really don't need so much to succeed in life. And all just need is to the leadership that bring back this I can do spirit in them. And for you to be able to do that, you must have succeeded in doing that in one little place or the other. And that's why, for me, we have a 10-point agenda going into this race. Out of those 10-point agenda, they were well articulated from the practical situations and out-of-need assessments we've done around the state, with a whole lot of input and contributions from different experts from this state and beyond. And these are, out of this 10-point agenda, the individual things we have been doing in a micro level as a private citizen, but having looked at that and seen the need that is expanding, we thought that having a platform like leadership of the state will enable us to be able to do more just by policy on a macro level. So we're just looking for a bigger platform to be able to do that. And I can tell you that we are the people who can measure in all aspects that is required to make that happen.
Well, let's go through that 10-point agenda. You've mentioned sort of the economic aspect of it, job creation, wealth creation. Can you take us through the rest of the agenda?
Sorry, come again, I didn't get that.
I'd like to go through your 10-point agenda. You've already mentioned the economic aspects of it in regards to job and wealth creation, but can you take us through the rest of the agenda?
Exactly. Yes, it's a 10-point agenda which is actually developed to offer selfless and caring service to the people. We've got an aspect of it that covers both economically, job creation, and then value reorientation. We think that the anchor of what we're doing is to be able to strengthen already the existing talents that we have been given in this country. We are endowed with a whole lot of intellectuals, a whole lot of talents. And these talents are scattered all over the world because they are looking for where to engage themselves. That's why we had created in one of our 10 points agenda, diasporan engagement. It's a very critical part and aspect of this project. We believe that our strength is in our human resources, and they have to be harnessed. Yes, we have a saying that Akuluono, Okuonya Patalia, which is until your word gets to the homeland, nobody has known about your success. So, but this time with the global village, as we leave the world it is now, we're going to extend our leadership and our government to wherever these people are stationed, whether they're in London, they are in America, they are in China, any place with a high concentration of Anambrarians. We're going to set up a liaison office. We're going to use the skills they have acquired to bring back home to educate and train the people who are here. We're going to use the resources they have acquired in the last few years to be able to strengthen our economic base here. Diaspora remittance is a very critical aspect of a national economy today. In fact, sometimes it weighs the same size with the national budget. And in some other countries like India and Philippines, they still very high ranking to the ratio of their GDP. We've looked at it that because the local government system has really been neglected, so rural development has been affected very badly. So we have a very special program that will revitalize our rural development, which in this case should be straight leadership that will come from bottom up. We're going to encourage independence of local government. We have a culture in this state where individuals, communities have participated so much in our development, both infrastructural and economic. We're going to create that new partnership in a special Ministry of Rural Development. We're going also to look at urban renewal. It's one of our 10 points agenda. We've got cities like Onitsha, well developed in the last 20-30 years, well designed to be one of the most beautiful cities in Nigeria. It's been neglected due to poor leadership. So those urban areas that have been neglected, we are going to, as much as possible, create new infrastructures to make them competitive with other parts of the nation. I can tell you that when we have some areas and regions in our nature, like say the Onitsha GRA, the Awada layout and all that, there was no place like Lekki in Lagos. Abuja development was still at the area of the Niger State. So, but they have all overtaken us, you know. So we think that this requires huge infrastructural development. And where are these resources coming up? They come from our economic plan. We think that from my position, from my exposure, from our network, we've made reasonable contact with institutions, with countries who know the prospects and prosperities we have in Anambra State. They're going to come in with huge sum of money to aid and support our infrastructure. You can't really revitalize any economy without huge infrastructural development. And this is going to come from external funding, not necessarily loan. They are coming as a direct investment. And then we think also with this new infrastructural development and the resources we're going to get, we're going to open up new cities, new towns that in our own areas that are scattered all over the world. Look at it as it is. In any state in Nigeria. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? I just wanted to butt in and ask the next question.
Yes,
I think you've... So, but we're going to be taking a break in the next 2 minutes, just to let you know. So, 3 things I'd like to ask you. Number 1 will be about the big flooding problem in Anambra State. We all know Anambra has a big ecological issue. Flooding inundates the state, and it's very devastating. What would you do to end that problem finally? And I mean finally when I say that. Secondly, there's also a big problem of housing, in the sense that property prices are increasing. In areas like Nnewi, I don't know, maybe because of the money bags there, plot of land is going for as much as 50 million naira in that area. How would you provide housing for those, below the line in society? And thirdly, you're coming up against candidates like the likes of Professor Chukwuma Soludo and some other big stalwarts, What would you do differently? How would you ensure that you get that ticket from your party? Or do you stand a chance?
Okay, I think that, yes, we have studied the ecological problem of Anambra State. These are coming from poor land use. This is actually one of the states you see people sweeping all over the places with their brooms and all that. We have good planning, but have not been implemented due to poor investment in infrastructure. So most of the roads that have been built here have not taken good care of the flooding. My town, Ogidi, for instance, is a typical case. There is a part of this town during the rainy season, the people living there have to pack away until the rainy season is over. Yes, we have the riverine areas due to the overflow of the water, but we think that with a good design and then with investment in the diversion and then the preparation to deal with the emergencies that are coming during the season, we should be able to tackle that. We have instituted a study that is looking into that.
Please, I'm so sorry to barge into you, but we'll go for a quick break and you come back and you finish those thoughts you had on those questions. We'll be right back. Right, welcome back. We still have Chief Obiora Okonkwo, a businessman, politician, and he's aspiring on the platform of the People's Democratic Party to be the governor of Anambra State in the coming elections in November. So, like I did ask 3 questions. What are your chances against the likes of Soludo and some other bigwigs? What are you doing as regards ecology? You're answering that question already. And the third one, high cost of land. What are you doing to provide, housing for people that can't afford the 50 million that they ask for some land in Nnewi, for instance? So, those 3 questions quickly, sir. You can continue.
Yes, it is obvious that Anambra State is not that state with a whole lot of landmass areas. We know that even Southeast in itself is not huge in the land space. a state like Kogi is almost the size of the entire 5 states in the southeast. So for that reason, there is a constraint. Yes, Nnewi, for whatever, however you want to assess it, it's a highly metropolitan area. It is industrialized, it's got people with a lot of resources, and a whole lot of economic activities have been going on there. It's expected the land will be expensive. In fact, it might even be more expensive in the course of time, because if you consider economic activities going on there and some other parts of Abuja and Lagos where you have lands going on, even more expensive. So with a more prosperous state that we're bringing on board in Anambra State, that might not be the least you can buy a land there. But for us, I said earlier, in our own urban development and rural development plan, we're going to open up new towns. And to open up these new towns, we have to invest heavily on the infrastructure. If you take a place like Onitsha town, there is a 33 that takes you to the deeper part of the North Senatorial Zone. It's a tiny road. If we come and dualize that road, 3-way road up to that place that takes you to the border of Enugu State, what I've just done, I've just opened up the entire part of that place. And then if you come to Nnewi area, Nnewi is in Anambra South Senatorial Zone. You have other local governments like Orumba North, Orumba South. You have enormous land space there that is looking for attention. When you open that, you will be able to decongest the Nnewi axis. But more importantly, the Land Use Act, the land system is a very priority part of our project, and it's also a way we are looking for a good source of income. So with that done, we should be able in these new areas invest in heavy infrastructure that will attract public-private partnership investment in construction. The government don't have to build all that is required. We think that we're going to provide huge housing support for the civil service. Bureaucracy is very critical to our success. We're going to strengthen them and bring a lot of incentives into that area. So with all this and more, we should be able to touch a little bit of what is existing. If you come to my hometown, as you can see, I'm just relaxing in my village. Land is also very, very expensive. So we had, in our own review and analysis, anticipated that with a good government come next year, a whole lot of Anambra people who are in diaspora will be able to have more presence at home. So more people will come, they want to set up places, they want to build in their hometown and the new cities. It's a big part of our strategy. And then we have developed something we should be unveiling very, very soon when we're going to make our program, our manifesto public. We should give you an insight into what we're going to do. We've contacted, as a matter of fact, a private company that is working already. He'll be presenting to us in the next 30 days entire plan of this state. You can view it from any part of the world, and then you demarcate it, and then you do what you need to do. And then assign, we also see a lot of activities going on in different places where they are not supposed to be. So we have to make sure we have all these things properly planned. We are aware from our research that the government of the state has already some plan. And I know that Governor Peter Obi during his tenure emphasized so much on planning. We've not laid our hands on those things, but we have access to what we have commissioned that are coming up very soon. That will help us to put things in the right perspective. So as long as we have the right planning, the right activities in the right areas, so we have to know what is left to be able to move people for residence and then industrial. Yes.
Chief Okonkwo, I was going to say yes. You're absolutely correct. There can be no development without planning. But unfortunately, we've run out of time. I will have asked to bring up the issue of zoning, because there are certain forces in Anambra that are insisting that the next governor should come from the south, Anambra South, the only senatorial district that has not produced a governor for 2 terms, whereas North and Central have been able to produce. But that will be another issue for another day. We want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you very much indeed.